Sir, in Western countries, there is a remarkable freedom to women in their society, particularly in moving with men. What is wrong in adopting that in Indian culture?
You see that there is a term called female slavery. Some writers say that our ancestors enslaved women folk. They confined women within the four walls of a house. They saw to it that they don't mingle with others. They arrested their freedom. They jailed women and they made life a hell for them. And feministic writers say that all these customs must disappear. But the truth is something far away from this. Our ancestors discovered that the very sight of a girl or a woman, in most of the cases, disturbs the mental frequency of men. Just as a child waters in its mouth at the sight of a sweet candy, men's hearts are sexually troubled by the sight of girls and some beautiful women. And you cannot blame nature for that. It was God's creation. God has created man and woman in that fashion. If you go and tell men, do not be disturbed sexually by the sight of a woman, that preaching is going to be totally theoretical. It won't work out. Who is going to listen to you? They would say, okay, they will nod their heads, but practically speaking, that's not going to happen. So it is something like a magnet moving a small metal iron plate. It is inevitable. The sight of beautiful girls, young girls, disturbs men at the heart. I mean, it induces sexual desire. And so, they found out a solution for this problem. They erected an unseen, invisible wall between men and women, even inside the house. They laid down injunctions that there should be a limit to a woman's behavior, free moving with men. They conditioned it very strictly. Even among brothers and sisters, they gave some injunctions. There should be a limit. So even touching a girl was considered to be very serious in those days. Consequently, our society was sure in those days that every child born to a man is really born to him only, not to somebody else. Those husbands were cuckolded in very less percentage. They said if you allow women to move with others, if you allow them very free movement in society, the morals of the society will go down. But a change of thought came. Some 200 years back, it started germinating. They said, no, it is a wrong policy. We will give them freedom. Our ancestors warned against it. But what they said will happen has happened in the West now. The West took a very daring step against it. They became untraditional. They allowed every girl to move with every man very freely. What is the result? All those countries are very popular, are notorious in incest and immorality. You can't speak of high morals there. Everything has become very devilish. So morals have disappeared very much. And India is slowly going towards that also, unfortunately. So any society which allows 10% freedom for men and women to move with each other with no restrictions, is bound to abound in immorality. It has been proved in the West, 10%. So, our ancestors are not fools. What they said should be considered, at least to a certain extent.